Hey guys, so it's Sunday, and since we're all just sitting around waiting for the new episode of Westworld to come out, I thought this would be a great idea to just sit back and play some Dominaria Draft. So I've been playing this a little bit. I think I've combined played 5 or 6 drafts in total. As you can see, I've won 2 of them, and the other ones I've mostly gone 2-1. Um, yeah, I think I have a at this point I think I have like a sort of like a pretty good understanding of what's good in the format, what's not good, which cards are traps, which cards are actually worth splashing for, so on and so forth. I'm a really big fan of, well, I think most people in this limited format is a very big fan of white. It's just very solid, a lot of good playables. But also, I've been quite happy with black. Black's playing a lot of legendary creatures, and black white is just a really good color pairing as well. So here we are, pack one. Um, Not that strong of a pack, I would say. I like Fire Intervention. It's just a fine removal spell. Vicious Offering is pretty good. What else do we have? There's a Dreadshade. I mean, if we're gonna be main black, then Dreadshade is gonna be a massive payoff. Just really good creature on curve and possibility of dumping all our stuff into it. Um, Besides that, I'm not that impressed actually. So we could just take the Dreadshade, and there's not that many signals that we're passing to the other people anyway. And we could hope for this Vicious Offering to come around, but I doubt it. But yeah, let's just take this. And straight away, we get to pick up a pretty solid um, black card. I know that it doesn't look that incredible, but once this actually hits the board, it's pretty solid. Besides that, there's a Jousting Lance, which is an amazing card. Um, I mean, this might just be the pick. Yeah, like the thing about the Kasserov is that it's in the late game, this card is just incredible. But hmm, we can try and see. I don't think it's gonna wheel, but um, besides the Jousting Lance, there's not that much else going on in the pack. Like the Jousting Lance is definitely gonna be taken. That's for sure. There's a dub. There's a gut. Yeah, I mean, it's not a great pack. I like taking the Jousting Lance here though. Um, Here's a fine sort of like colorless card. There's also Cloud Reader Sphinx, which it's a common, but it sort of like seems more like an uncommon, really. It's a Maze Unicorn, which is a fine blue 2-drop. However, we don't really know where we're going yet with this, but I think that the Cloud Reader Sphinx is just an excellent pickup here. There's another Jorah's Familiar, which is a fine card. There's another Jousting Lance as well. Wow. I'm surprised people haven't taken this. One uncommon is missing and a bunch of commons are missing. We could just take another Jousting Lance. They don't I've never had multiple of these, so I don't really know how they scale. Um could just take this Windgrace Acolyte. Just another fine flyer. That's a bit tricky. Yeah, let's just cut the fine black cards at this point. Two-headed giant. This seems pretty solid, right? It either gains double strike or it gains menace. Seems pretty good. Wonder why people are not keen on this. I think we should take it. I'm a big fan of trying out new things. Wow, Shivan Fire this late? What was in this pack? Wow. Okay. Yeah, we're just gonna grab this Shivan Fire and then see where this takes us. So here we have a this is an okay 2-drop. Two mana 2/2 is fine. And if we do actually kick us something, it becomes very difficult to block, and it deals quite a lot of damage. Other than that, there's a Fungal Infection, which is also a pretty fine removal spell. And I think at this point in the draft, we would rather just take a black card that we're most likely going to play. So what do we have here? The Fervent Strike is just a pretty solid. It's a pretty solid combat trick. It's a Fire Elemental, which is not that exciting. That's a 4-mana 4/4 with a pretty big downside. It looks like red is pretty open though, so we might want to go in that direction. But I'll just take the Fervent Strike for now. So now we're back to our opening pack. I believe this was our opening pack. And that's still a Run Amok. And Run Amok is just an incredible combat trick, especially with the Jousting Lands. Here we don't have that much. Out of all the tap lands, this is probably the worst one. Destroy target land. There aren't any lands that will actually do anything. Could just take the Rat Colony. It's not a great card, but might be okay if we get multiples. Here's a Gitu Chronicler. It's a pretty fine. We have a few removal spells that we would like to get back. The Kicker is something we want to do when we're playing. If we're playing black-red. Here's another Red Colony. I think at this point we're pretty certain that we're not playing blue, at least. Red just seems to be completely open. I like the combination of Two-Headed Giant and Run Amok. I mean, it seems a little bit unpredictable, but still a 4-mana 4/4 with 2 potential upsides and no downsides is really strong. I'm surprised that people didn't want to play that card. There's a Shalai, Voice of Plenty, which is obviously just a massive bomb. However, I don't think we want to... I mean, we could take it. I mean, at this point, we're not locked into black either. The Dreadshade is getting a little bit worse now that it seems like black is not that open. However, white wasn't that open either, so it might just be a mistake to take it here. But I mean, what else is in this pack? There's an Avad, which is not great in our deck at this point. That's a familiar. We don't really have any historic spells either. I mean, there's a Candle. The Candle is something that we'll probably just play. So that might be something we want to take. But I feel like we should be able to pick up 1 or 2 candles. We can just take this and see if we actually end up playing white or something like that. Here's another Jousting Lands. If we are in sort of like an aggressive strategy, I think that taking multiple of these is pretty okay. It's also Call the Cavalry, Pegasus Corsair. Here's another sort of like kicker payoff. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what to take here actually. We could just take another Jousting Lands in the hope that we will get more aggressive. Or we could also take this Pegasus Corsair, which is a pretty solid card. Especially if it turns out that white is open. I think having 1 Jousting Lands is the right amount. I don't necessarily think having multiples is that great. There's a Radiant Lightning here, which is okay against sort of like sapling strategies and stuff like that. It's quite good in that situation. It's also just a memorial to Folly, but we're not really that locked into black at this point, I think. I mean, we have some fine black cards, but they're by no means amazing. Yeah, we could take this. It's probably not going to be in our main deck, but it might be in our sideboard. It's a Keldon Raider, which is fine. You know, you get to rummage when it comes into play. It's also Yargle. Yargle is pretty sweet with the Corsa. However, it's not that great otherwise. I mean, it's fine with the Jousting Lance and stuff. There's a Honor Guard. However, we don't really have any other. It's either, I think it might just be this Windgrace Acolyte actually. Flyers are really good in the format, and you definitely need either flyers to attack with or also to block with. That's Juggernaut. Juggernaut is just solid. Of course, it has this major downside that it has to attack every turn, but if we equip it with a Jousting Lance, then that's going to be a pretty annoying thing to deal with. And it's just colorless, and I think that at this point when we don't really know exactly where we want to be, I think that might be the right thing to do. Here's a Chainer's Torment. What else? There's another Gitu Chronicler. Another Rampaging Cyclops. Not that exciting for us. I've been quite impressed with the Torment in general. So I think we're just going to take this. So what do we have here? We have Board the Weatherlight, which is just unplayable. There's a Divest, which is a fine sideboard card, I think. It's also Navigator's Compass if we are looking to splash these white cards. I'm not sure we actually want to do that at this point. Could also just take this Fire Elemental, but that is not a very exciting card. Yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have opportunity to pick up a Divest if we actually want to at some point. Here's a Cabal Paladin. We don't have that many historic spells at this point, but there's not that much else. There could be this Sarah Disciple. We do have quite a lot of 4-drops. Even if we cut this Shalai, we're really getting there in the 4-drops. And I think maybe, I don't know, if we end up playing white, then Sarah Disciple is definitely a card that we be all right with playing. Oh yeah, so the Candle did wheel, and I think we just take this. What do we have here? Creatures you control gain first strike on the end of the turn, draw a card. Yeah, it's a shame that this isn't an instant, but I can see situations where this could be good. Sure, we can take another Drudge Sentinel. Here's the Keldon Raider, which I think we will take. Seismic Shift, sure, whatever. Let's go into the last pack. I think at this point we are not playing white. So we still have, you know, we're a little bit light on the 3-drops. I think we really want to pick up some of those 3/2 Thalids. Those should be quite good. Haphazard Bombardment. I don't really want to play a 6-mana enchantment. There's a Fire Intervention, which is a fine card. There's a Glider. It's another Radiant Lightning. I think at this point, taking a removal spell is quite fine. Wow. This is pretty sick, but I don't really see how we can actually cast this. So at this point, we don't actually have any legendaries. So I don't think that's going to be an option for us. Out of the other cards, I think that this Thalid Omnivore is fine. It's obviously better in sapling strategies, but I think it's okay. I think we can still take it. Wow, okay. Siege Gang Commander is awesome. That is definitely going to be our pick here. And then what could we wheel? We could wheel the Cabal Evangel. There's also a Warcaller, which is fine. We're a little bit light on the 2-drops, but yeah, I'm happy to take a Siege Gang Commander here. So here's a Valduke, Keeper of the Flame. It's a pretty fine 3-drop, I think. Just a 3/2 for 3 is fine. And it does have some upside if we put the Jousting Lance on it. Yeah, I think that we already have, numerous Windgrace Acolytes, and I think at this point we want to have some aggressive creatures early on. What do we have here? There's a short sword. I mean, it's not amazing or anything, but could be okay with our current configuration. There's not that much else actually here for us, I think. There's a Sparring Construct. I'm not that excited about that card. Divest is, again, it's just fine. But I could see us play this short sword actually. Okay, the Eldest Reborn. But there's also this Thalit. And I think at this point, there's also Fire Intervention. What are the chances of Fire Intervention actually wheeling? I think we need something like this in our deck at this point. I definitely don't want to play a 3-mana 2/1. So what do we have here? I think that the Confessor is actually where we want to be. I quite like this card as either an early creature that we can either equip with a short sword or the Jousting Lance, and later on it just becomes a 4-mana 3/3 with Menace, which is also pretty solid. So I quite like taking something like that here. And there's a chance that some of these other black cards will wheel. Probably think of this being a 5-mana spell and this being something like a 6-mana spell. The Gitu Chronicler is okay. I mean, I'm not that excited about it in a sort of like aggressive deck as the one we're trying to play here. Okay, so this is not great in our configuration. This is definitely better in the sapling sort of like strategy. So maybe we would just want to take something like a 4-mana 2/2 that doesn't do that much. I mean, I think we want to be aggressive. And I think the most aggressive card is probably going to be this. Cabal Paladin. Sure. I'm not too excited to play that card, but we could play it in a pinch, I guess. So Rampaging Cyclops. Again, sure. Okay, so now we have two options. We have the black or the red 2-drop. And I think we're going to take the red 2-drop, just because I think our curve looks more like it's going to be better to have more red mana than black mana. I know we have this Dread Shade on as a 3-drop, but that could potentially also be, it's fine if that comes down on like turn 5 and turn 6. And a Swamp. Okay. So, I mean, I don't think we saw that many impressive cards in general. And I think we did okay with what was given to us. So a little bit short on the 3-drops and the 2-drops, but pretty okay with removal. And again, I'm not a big fan of this Chronicler, but it can bring back something like a Sheevan Fire or Fervent Strike, or and just having a little bit more to do with on the early turns is fine, and it's okay with the Jousting Lance in it. Again, curve is not amazing, but I think we could just, I think we can get away with something like this. Yeah, 8-7 is probably right. I think this is fine. Like yeah. Let's just go for it. Maybe we should play this Cabal Paladin rather than one of these other things. Maybe the Radiant Lightning shouldn't be in our main deck, but it should be something like this. Just because Cabal Paladin is aggressive, and we do have Juggernaut and Jousting Lance, and we have a few sort of like, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 historic spells, so this could potentially get out there and deal some damage. But yeah, we have some good combat tricks. Playing the Fervent Strike on a Cabal. Yeah, maybe this is okay. Let's give it a go. See what it takes us. I would say that I think this is like a 2-1 deck, probably. I'm not like extremely excited about this, but I think we have some solid cards in here. We'll definitely playing first. Oh, this hand is rough. So we don't have a play until turn 3 as it is, and that is only if we either draw a mountain or a swamp. But I mean, if we just draw lands, then it's pretty good. Yeah, let's just keep whatever. Let's have some fun. Let's see if we can get this to work. If we draw, you know, a mountain, then we're pretty solid. But yeah, not a great hand. I don't think I would recommend. If it wasn't because it was Sunday, I probably wouldn't keep this hand. Come on, no, okay. So they played a forest and passed. We just played our other swamp and passed. They don't have a 2-drop, which is good for us. Okay, so we get to play our Valduk, Keeper of the Flame. I really like this format because I think that all these legendaries, they make it feel like, I said that last time as well, but it really feels like you have more rares than you actually have, and I think that's pretty cool. Okay, pretty solid draw here. If we don't get to draw a land, at least we get to draw a spell that we can actually cast. And our opponent is definitely not an ideal draw either. I don't think that you want to cast the Pegasus Corsair as your first creature. Don't get me wrong, it's a great creature, but ideally when you go to your turn 4, you would like to attack with it and attack with some other creature that you have in play. Okay, we get attack for 1 here, which is okay. Okay, so we get the swamp, which means that we get to cast a Dreadshade. I don't think there's a green-white creature with flash or anything, so I think they're just going to take 6 here. And then we get to play our Dreadshade. So now, even if we don't draw a land next turn, we actually get to attack with some pretty big stuff here. Ooh. Okay. So now the question is, what do we do here? I think we just attack with the Dreadshade. and then I doubt that they're gonna block, because now we can make it so big that we can actually kill the spider. But I kind of hope they'll block, because these acolytes are not actually doing much. Okay, perfect. So we just deposit 2 mana into this. And we kill it. And we don't really have any spells at this point, so we might as well just cast this. They played another plains, so they definitely have all the mana that they want. They have another spider. Okay. Yeah, I guess we just make the same play here. Again, still no equipment on the Valduk. So attack with a shade. Probably. Okay, and now they don't block. So we could deal 8 to them. And I think we should. So then next turn they're going to be in pretty big trouble. Okay, so we deal them 8. They're down to 3. Again, these are not actually going to do that much for us right now, so might as well just put the pressure on our opponent. Wow, and they have drawn all the lands in the world. Wonder what they have in their hand. Could be that they're playing 3 colors and they just haven't played the... I'm quite surprised. Like, I feel like whenever I play drafts, I always see these 3 color decks, but I've never felt like I had to do that, you know? So, do we have anything else that we would like to change up? I think maybe on the draw, this Gito Chronica is actually even better than on the play. We didn't see anything that this actually killed. This is definitely also only good on the play. I think on the draw, I think that this is actually much better. Yeah, so I think we just pass. We just send this back. So what do we have here? 6 lands and a flyer. So no, I don't think we cannot keep this. Oh, good. Okay, so it's the 2 swamps and only red cards. But we do get a scry. So, and we do have a turn 2 play in the jousting lands. Okay, so at least we get to play some spells here. So let's just play this jousting lands. Having this 2-headed giant with this jousting lands seems pretty gross. Another Corsa, turn 3. I mean, that's fine. Okay, so we could play... I think we just play this guy, and then next turn we could play the Confessor. And then we have like a menace, have like a 5-2, a 5-3 menace first strike. It's going to be pretty difficult to deal with. Okay, so they attack for 1. We just take 1. They have another Corsa, so now they can give each other flying. Let's just attack with this Chronicler send a message, and it might be that they don't want to block because of combat tricks. They don't, so we just get a free damage in. Here's the Confessor. It's going to be pretty brutal with the Jousting Lance. Okay, they found a 4th land. Yeah. They give each other flying, so now they have double flying. Do you have a play? No play. Okay, so now we get to equip the Jousting Lance onto this guy and go to town. And we have this run amok to potentially Healing Grace. Okay, so they prevent 3 damage that would be dealt to my Confessor. Yeah, that's not exactly how you would have to pick yourself. Did that actually work? Did they actually do it right? Huh. Okay, yeah, I'm confused. Okay, so they're gonna ramp, which is fine for us because, yeah, we don't really mind our opponent ramping at this stage in the game. That's much better for us than them playing like a big spider or something. Not that the spider is that big of an issue at this point, but so they don't attack. So now they might just be in the chomp mode. So I think we can attack with both here, because if they want to block the menace creature, we can still get 1 damage in with the Chronicler. So they don't attack and they don't block. That is an interesting play. Okay, so they... Sure. I think if you're playing Healing Grace in your deck, you're not doing it right. Okay, so we are back up to 20. We have a pretty good army. We have a potential bomb if we can find another mountain. And we have a run amok. So unless our opponent is casting a bunch of healing graces, then I think they're going to be dead soonish, hopefully. Wow, now we really want another mountain. So yeah, I think that we just attack here with both the flyer and the Confessor. So block. So we want to kill this. We cast Run Amok on our guy. That kills the big thing. What's it called? A worm. Yeah, I'm happy with this configuration of equipment as well. So this might be a spider. Yep. Spiders are good. I mean, our opponent has done a pretty good job of... There's a Fervent Strike. So, okay, let's think about this. So if we attack with the Confessor and the Acolyte with this configuration, then the Mammoth can just block the Acolyte and kill it. So if we move the Jousting Lance over, then they can't block the Acolyte. However, they can block the Confessor. And then the Confessor would die. Okay, so I think we're still gonna move the Jousting Lance. We're gonna move it. And we're gonna attack just with the Acolyte. And then we'll see how the opponent blocks. No blocks. Okay. Okay, so I think we just keep it like this. We really want another mountain here. Yeah. Yeah, the spiders are good. I'm a big fan of these. There's a bunch of 2 toughness flyers in the format. So I actually think that these spiders are really solid. Okay, so now it's... the ground is getting a little bit clogged up. So let's attack with this Acolyte. And then if they don't block, we just Fervent Strike, and then we play the Chainer's Torment. Okay, they decide to block. Yep. So let's play this Chainer's Torment. Drain our opponent for 2. Pass. So now they are just in chump block mode here. Okay, so they play another ground creature, which we don't care too much about. Okay, they just concede. Yeah, that was... I mean, that went as well as you would like, I think. Our opponent's deck didn't seem that strong with the Healing Graces and stuff like that. I definitely think that if you want to play white instance, then there's others. There must be like others, you know, Adamant Will and other sort of like combat tricks that are much better. But yeah, I mean, I think that was a little bit premature that concede or that concession, just because I mean they still had 2 blockers in the air, so they still would survive 2 more turns. I don't know. I think that's a little bit questionable, but I don't like to concede prematurely. Oh yeah, so one thing I didn't actually mention. So I decided to put the camera back on, just because that should make everything a little bit more exciting for everyone. And last time my argument was that I do like things with my face, you know, I pick my nose or I play with my beard or whatever. But I think I just need to get used to not doing that. So I think this is a really good excuse for me to behave myself a little bit more. Okay, so we have a pretty good hand here. We have a 2-drop into a 4-drop into a 5-drop now. And we have all the mountains that we need. So what do they have here? Okay. So we just play our Warcaller. Pass. So I think if they attack here, we just trade. I don't think that there's a spell they can kick for only 3 mana. Yeah, just wow. Okay, that is very aggressive, but yeah, I respect that. So now let's just play this Thalid, which was a really good draw. I'm a really big fan of these Thalids. Just having like a really good on-curve creature, which when it dies, you actually get to you get a little bit of value out of it. So our opponent has a very aggressive draw here. They don't want to trade. Okay. So now we just attack. Because I think if this is... I think this game we can actually race them. Especially with this giant here. Now we have a run amok. So if it all of a sudden gets double strike, then we can actually attack for 14. So what is this? On Sarah's Wings. Okay, so that's a little bit problematic. But we do have a flyer to deal with that. So let's attack here. Let's hope that this gains double strike. Gains menace. That's fine. We still get to attack for 4. Now we get to gain a little bit of life back, and we get a blocker for this this Bloodstone Goblin. We mill ourselves, which is fine. So we have to be a little bit wary of a combat trick here, but I don't think we're in a position where we cannot try and block this Bloodstone Goblin. It's a potential, 2-for-1 in our favor. If they have like another Sheevan Fire here, they can kicker it, then we are in pretty big trouble. Let's see what happens. Yeah, they probably neither have a combat trick or removal spell at this point. I don't think they would be this hesitant to make that play. I think if they had like a combat trick, they would just attack with both of these flyers and offer the trade. So they just attack with the Phoenix. Okay. So that is a definite indication that they don't have a combat trick. So we just take this 2, I think, and then see if we draw what we draw. Let's see what they followed up with as well. A Chiana, 3/3 flying first strike. Okay, that is problematic. But I think since we have this run amok, I think we actually just get in there with the beats. Let's see what this does. Double strike now. So all of a sudden this becomes difficult to block, and it's just going to deal a ton of damage to our opponent. If they don't block with a lifelinker, I actually think they're dead here. Let's see what they do. They're still in the tank here. I understand why they don't want to trade. Okay, so they go for the trade. I think they definitely have to do this, because otherwise they're just dead. So that was definitely a good call of them. I still think that they are in big trouble at this point, but I mean, we essentially just we didn't quite 2 for 1 them, but we took 3 of their cards, and they okay. So can they do this at an instant speed? They can. Okay, in that case, we just attack with these 2. And either one of these options right now on this 2-headed giant is going to be amazing. Okay, they make 2 tokens. They got menace. Okay, so now they have to chomp with everything to not die. So they have to use both of their soldier tokens. Okay, they decide to do that. That's fine, because then we cast this Chainer's Torment, and then we win the game. Yep. Okay. So what did we see? We saw a pretty solid deck from them. So they're quite aggressive decks. Maybe this Radiant Lightning is going to be good. We did see that land that makes tokens. I don't know what else they could have in there that makes tokens. Maybe not that much, actually. So maybe we don't want to do that. I think maybe once we go, if we lose the next game and we go on the play, I think we're definitely going to take this Fervent Strike. But I think for now, I think this is actually quite alright. The only thing I'm not that excited about is actually this Chronicler, but it could end up being okay. Yeah, let's just run this back. This is a little bit slow, but we do get a bunch of draw steps to try and find some early action. So I think we just keep it. No early action as of yet, but let's just keep a mountain and pretend like we have a Sheevan Fire. Do they have a 2-drop? They do. Yeah, that's not great. I think we want to play this on 1 because on 4 we definitely want to play this Chainer's Torment. They're already in the tank. What are they in the tank about? Sure, not gonna block. Killed an Overseer. Okay. So yeah, I think we just keep this back now because that can actually trade with the Overseer. So let's play a mountain and pass. So they might also have a number of, Fervent Strikes and Run Amoks and stuff. But if they want to use a Fervent Strike or Run Amok to trade with our Confessor, then I am perfectly happy with that. Okay, so they just keep back the Overseer, which again is telling us that they don't have any combat tricks. They are at the end of combat. You need to go to your main phase. Yep. And also, it seems like they probably don't have another land drop. since they went straight to try and casting a spell rather than playing a land. Another Keldon Overseer. Wow, this Stronghold Confessor is doing work. And a fungal infection. Yeah, that's just perfect. I don't want to play a Juggernaut just because the Overseer can actually trade with it. So that's not that exciting. I think we just play this Torment. Gain a bit of life back. Keep back this Stronghold Confessor. Maybe this will actually prompt them to attack us because they don't want us to have, you know, a big token in play. So what is going on here? Triumph of Gerard. Okay. Now the fungal infection would have been great. Yep. So they... Yeah, I think we just take it. We can play this Siege Gang now. We can make a bunch of tokens. And we can try and do some favorable blocking. It's a little bit awkward, but we could also just play this Acolyte. Yeah, maybe just playing the Acolyte is better. And then next turn we can have Siege Gang and the fungal infection. And the Acolyte can actually just block the biggest Overseer. Okay. So now they might actually not want to, they might not want to attack with that 5/3. Because they would prefer to get first strike and all that jazz from it. So let's see what they do. They're definitely in the tank a little bit. Okay, so they decided to attack with it. This could also just be a bluff. This could definitely be a bluff. Yeah, no, I don't think it is. If it's a bluff, it's a very good bluff. We haven't seen any, we haven't, if they have a combat trick here, they've done an excellent job hiding the fact that they have a combat trick. Wow, they do. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well done. I respect that play very much. And now we get a tiny creature out of it, and flying first strike and lifelink next turn. So that's this thing, which means that we need to have something to block it, which we don't. Yeah, that was just excellent, to be honest. Even if we cast fungal infection on it, we lose the game. Yeah, well done. Wow. But if we didn't block, that would have been even worse for us. So I think that was still the right thing to do. So let's take... this is difficult. So on the play, take the candle out. Try it like this. I just got a text. Let's see what our opponent does.
That was an excellent bluff for them, I think. Yes, we would like to play first. Okay, so yeah, I think this is a fine hand. We have an excellent 3-drop, especially with the jousting lands. And if we get another swamp, we could cast a Dreadshade, which is going to be awesome. Now, if we get a mountain, we can cast the 2-headed giant with an equipped lands. Yeah, that just seems disgusting. Let's see if they have a 2-drop. They don't. That is very good for us. So we play this guy. Pass. Now, if they tap out for a creature, we just get to... Okay, perfect. So now we just get to equip this guy and go to town. Yep. This just seems disgusting. They might have an answer for it, but that's a pretty big swing on turn 4. And we do have the Sheevan Fire to try and clear a path. Let's see what they do. Again, playing Pegasus Corsair on turn 3 is not that ideal. I mean, I guess it's as ideal as any other play, but... Okay. Sure. So they decide to attack for 3. And now we again get to just swing for a bunch of damage here. Play the Confessor. Maybe we just kill the Warcry Phoenix now. We can wait. We can wait. Let's see. They definitely can't attack here. That's very, very greedy. Okay, that's good. Two mana. Okay, which creature? So then we kill the Sheevan with the Sheevan Fire in return. In response, we force them to chomp. Well, I guess it's not quite a chomp, but we put them to 1. Oh, they attack. Okay, I see. So they've recognized that they're not gonna have time to. So now the question is, do we attack and put them to 1? Or do we play this Dreadshade? We probably just attack for 1 here. Because next turn they could make a bunch of tokens. So I think it's better for us to actually have a creature out there. Okay, they've made a big Pegasus. So now the question is, do they want to play something. Or do they just want to use their memorial to glory? No, it looks like they have something. Definitely a little bit in the tank here again. Okay, Cyclops. Fine. Chaina's Torment. That could just win us the game. If they can't, I mean, they could untap and play some big enchantment. So what do we do here? We can equip the lands on the shade and attack, then force them to chump. Next turn, because next turn they want to, next turn they can gain back a bunch of life. I think this is what we need to do. So let's equip this, go attacking. They might have an adamant will here. Okay. So they're just going for the chump. And then we pass. So now that thing gets flying and first strike and lifelink. So now they get to attack with something big. Okay, so they go back up to 7. Yep. Oh, and they kill the Dreadshade. Sure. Okay, here's a mountain. So now we could play the Siege Gang Commander. We could also play the two-headed giant. But I feel like the Siege Gang Commander is probably gonna give us the most bang for our buck. So let's equip, let's play this, make a bunch of goblins. And then pass. Player planes, which is probably good for us. And they play a 2-drop, which is definitely good for us. Okay, we draw a mountain. And I think that means we can just shoot our opponent to death. So let's just do that. Choose a player. Wait, what did I do? Click this, choose any target, sacrifice a goblin, shoot for 2. Click a player, sacrifice a goblin. Okay, yeah. Whew. Okay, we got there. So So far we're 2-0. So that's good. I think that was a tight one. I think our opponent had a really good deck actually. But yeah, we were lucky enough to get out of it. Let's see if we can ride this thing to a victory. That would be ideal, of course. And let's try to see if we can do it quickly so that people can get back to watching their shows. I know that I want to. I hope you guys are just as excited for Westworld as I am. Also, did you guys watch the NBA game today? The first Cleveland versus Boston Eastern Conference Finals. Jeebus. That was a beating. Boston completely destroyed Cleveland. Okay, this hand is something we cannot keep. Let's mull this. Okay, so we only have red lands, but we also only have red spells, and I don't think we want that. So we have our Sheep and Fire up to try and kill any early shenanigans. Oh, blue. Probably not going to see much early on. Okay, this is perfect. So we get a short sword that we can equip onto the Valduke. Okay, opt. That's fine. What did they do? They on the bottom. Okay. Blue white. Okay. I mean, that is a good color pairing. That's for sure. So I think we're just gonna kill this Mesa Unicorn, and then we're gonna play this Valduke and pass. Running a little bit low on cards here. I feel like that was very quickly, but Valduke with an equipped short sword is definitely gonna bring the beats early on. Let's hope that they're gonna tap out for some 3-drop here. Academy Drake, okay. So let's equip. Let's go to combat. Attack. Yeah, and pass. And then if they tap out for something big here on turn 4, we just kill it with the Fire Intervention. Divination, wow, that is pretty ideal for us. Probably going to attack with the Drake, yep. Okay, so go to attacks, swing, play the Swamp, and pass. So if they tap out for like a big Sphinx or something here, that's going to be pretty perfect for us, or like a Sarah Angel. Okay. Luckily they don't have a historic spell. Yeah, I think we definitely have to kill that thing. A little bit flooded here, but hopefully things will be okay. So now they're forced to chomp. I don't think there's a 1-mana combat trick that is going to get them out of that particular issue. So, I mean, that's not true. I guess there's the Healing Grace, but playing that here should not. Okay, so we got there. Yeah, I think that this is fine. I don't think we necessarily want to change anything. Let's just run it back. Our deck is perfect. I mean, look at this horrible curve, but it's okay. It's difficult to assess curve, I think, when you have all these equipments as well, because the Jousting Lance is basically a 2. You know, it's Okay. So now, do we want to play this Strong Confessor early on? I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. I guess we do. I guess we just want to be aggressive. And hopefully we draw a mountain. Wow. They kept the one lander? Or did they accidentally skip their turn? I think they might have just accidentally skipped there. Yeah, I'm not complaining. That just means that we are actually just in the play, but with an additional card. So yeah, that's pretty ideal. So now we get to play the Keldon Raider into the Acolyte. I think we're going to rummage away this swamp. I think we have enough swamps as it is. So let's see if they play a Drake here. They don't. They might just have something like a Gideon's Reproach or something. Let's attack here. Okay. So let's play the Raider. They have something here. Okay, they're going to return that. That's fine. Discard a card. Yes. Swamp. Okay, we got another creature, which is good. Four mana here. Still no place. Maybe they have another blink of an eye. I don't know. But we're definitely going to attack. Okay, they have the Reproach. And I think we want to cast a Siege Gang Commander here. It's going to be pretty good with the Run Amok. I don't think there should be any Essence Scatters or anything in the format. Not as far as I understand. The only counterspell I've seen is the 3-mana negate, where you get to untap your lands. Okay. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good thing to cast at this point. That actually ruins things quite a bit. But let's attack with this Confessor, and then if they want to block it, we can just cast Run Amok, kill both of them. We could also just play... well, let's see here. What's best at this point? So we could cast Run Amok followed up by the Warcaller. So we can just like attack with all these things. And then let's see how they block. So block. So what happens now? 3, 4, 5. 3, 4, 5. We could just save a goblin here, and then we can. Yeah, let's do that. Deal a little bit extra damage here. And do we want to sack this and shoot them for 2? We can really put them on the spot here. Oh, shoot this guy. Sacrifice this. So now they're down to 6. And if we draw land, we have enough mana to just kill them completely. Sanctum Spirit. Okay. Land. Got the sacrifice a goblin. Sacrifice a goblin. Sacrifice a goblin. And there we go. So that's how you do it. That's how you win a draft, I guess. Yeah, Siege Gang Commander, total powerhouse. I wasn't too surprised that that card would just be extremely good. And even though we didn't have any other goblins in our deck, still incredible. Yeah, I think this format is incredible. I can't wait to play some more. But that's not going to be tonight. So everyone, have a great Sunday. Enjoy Westworld, enjoy Silicon Valley, and I'll be back.